So sit in an upright posture. If you're interested in getting more a sense of that outer compactness in the hips, which we're actually going to speak of in the session, you can sit in Virasana. If that bothers your knees or your feet, then obviously sit as I'm doing in Swastikasana. And adjust so that you're even across the buttock flesh, so that you're really on the ball points of the buttock bones, and do that in service of ascending the spine. And give your spine a good lift to it. We've worked a lot with the side ribs all week. Take the shoulders back, bring the shoulder blades onto the back body, and then without dropping the chest, close the eyes, and just sit and know that you're sitting, sit comfortably, not struggling with the posture. And if you are struggling with the posture, then of course I would change the seat. See if you can sit tall in this noble, dignified posture, sitting like a mountain. Have this sense of dignity, of strength. Be steadfast, be majestic, but be natural and at ease in your awareness. And then just sense, no matter how many winds are blowing in the mind, no matter how many clouds are swirling in the mind, no matter how many lions are roaring or prowling in the background, be intimate with everything as you sit like a mountain. This is the image of equanimity. Able to feel everything without exception and relating to it, and that's the key, relating to it through our own strength of awareness and not through habitual reactions. And then if you'd like, you can fold the palms in front of the chest, repeat your own personal vow, or the one that we've been doing together. May I be a boat, a raft, a bridge for all beings to cross the flood. May I be a resting place for the weary. May I be medicine for all who are sick. May I be a lamp in the darkness for those who are lost. And may I do so as long as earth and sky and galaxies exist, until all beings are enlightened. I vow to be here to serve them all. And then when you're ready, you can lift your gaze, allow your eyes to open, and stretch out your legs. So I think what we'll do, just as a short review to what we did last week and on Tuesday, is I want you to do the roll for your shoulder blades horizontally. So you can unfold the blanket and then roll it. And then of course, we'll start with bent legs. Let me just show this quickly. So this will be the horizontal way. And this is a passive way to open the chest. But do start with bent legs. And just to review, this is what we did on Tuesday. So I catch the bottom of my shoulder blade. If you need head support, you can take it. And then you see the depth of the chest. And then, I don't know if you remembered this, we extended the leg and then the other, and we brought it back to bend. And then we had the legs apart as we move the legs back and forth sideways. No need for the knee to touch. And you can really feel the connection between the psoas, the iliopsoas muscle, and the thoracic or dorsal spine. And then we'll place the roll secondarily in the vertical position to alert the spine. So have it rolled up enough so that your chest, the skin, the cloth of the body should feel like it's stretching. In essence, your pectoral muscles. Yeah, and then if your chin is higher than your forehead, then use head support. So start this with bend and then spend about a minute there, then extend one leg and then the other. So we're just going through this as a review, because I find that if you do something once and then you don't do it again for a while, you just forget about it. Okay, so we'll start with this spinal roll horizontally. That's good, Mary Beth, to create depth in the chest. And if you take a glance, if you can see yourself probably in the right-hand corner of the screen, then you can see, if you're looking at your chest, how the shoulder blades are tucked onto the back And you're doing basically a slight back arch. If your back bothers you in this posture, Tony up, Lubna, you can actually toe in, heel out, keeping the legs bent. The back hurts, so you're not overarching in this. And then those of you who have no back issues or not feeling in the back or just prefer to keep the legs bent, then extend through the core of the heel, then the other. Wait there. And just relax. Feel on the inhalation, the chest expanding, and on the exhalation, the abdomen moves back, almost like the filling in a sandwich. Okay. Rest there. So I'll just say today I'm going to give you a preview of what I'm teaching for the Yoga and Aging. One, to encourage some of you to come if you haven't already signed up at yogaandaging.com. Or at the same time, for those of you who are coming, then just to whet your appetite for more. Likely that I won't get through the whole thing today, not because of the time. I mean, it will be an hour and a half class, but I might spend some more time here doing some nuancing that unlikely that I would do on Sunday. But you know, every class is different. You never know what to expect. So can never duplicate a lesson. Now, when you're ready, everybody go back to the bent leg and then just swing the legs to and fro as we have done for the past 2 years for the lower back. Have the feet apart though, yeah. And just go side to side. Make it very lyrical, rhythmic, and then connect as you go to the right. Observe how the left psoas, iliopsoas muscle is stretching, and connect that to the band, the shoulder blades, the dorsal spine. There's a connection between the psoas and the thoracic. That's why when we do back bends, we often address, we stretch and open the groins and work with movement in the upper back to do back bends. Hi, Lana. So Lana, you can start with the next move that we're doing. No need to repeat this or do this, not repeat it. Okay, now everybody take the knees into the chest. Roll to your side. And now take that same roll. We didn't do this Tuesday, we only did it horizontally. You're making it vertically. And this roll is to alert the spine because we're doing dog pose after this. So when we do dog pose, I would do in today's lesson, Prasarita Padottanasana. You could do it twice, freestanding and or with the legs at the wall. So, okay, so you're doing this, you're going to sit on this vertical roll. My pelvis is on it, and then I slowly recline backward. I'll feel a little topsy-turvy in the beginning, but then settles down, and then I extend more leg. Again, those of you who have back issues, keep the legs bent. I shouldn't say if back issues, if your back hurts, keep the legs bent. All right, so now the vertical roll is there. Pay attention to the breath. That will come on its own, likely to happen just because it feels a little bit topsy-turvy. If you need extra head support, take it. Alert your spine. Patricia used to say, make the spine like a live wire. So because it's such a small class, if any of you have questions in the middle of the class, which we don't usually do, but you can feel free to unmute yourself and ask me. I will do that toe strengthening exercise as I feel I've come up with a better way, much more simple to do it, that perhaps will make more sense to you. It will be very easy. Okay, so now you're just resting on the vertical support. The arms can be out to the side, the legs can be bent. And just enjoy, yeah, Lubna, yeah, make it vertical now. Have the feet good, Nancy, hip width apart. So just know this is still an active posture for the legs. You're keeping the legs perpendicular to the floor and really feeling the spreading of the toes, the inner arches, almost like suction cups through the tubes of the legs. Think of the legs like tubes. A current of energy is running up the legs, as though the feet were pressing into a surface, as though you were standing in Tadasana. Okay. And then when you're ready, bend the legs, roll to your side. And so I'll just begin with this. We're going through a series of asanas, very familiar asana. The first one is Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. But I want to do it with, I want to hit home a point. Downward facing dog is one of many postures that we can create access to our legs. We feel our feet, we feel our kneecaps, we feel our quadriceps, we feel our abdomen. So in order to really articulate that, we're going to do it with the blocks at the wall in this manner, because it's easier, and let me explain why. It's easier to access the legs when the arms are straight. If the arms are bent in any way in Adho Mukha Svanasana, that prevents us from access to our legs. So we're doing asanas today to specifically affect feet, knees, quads, abdomen. Okay, so watch. Wait, let me get the camera on. Be glad I'm not doing this part on Sunday. Okay, watch. My hands are on blocks. The blocks are the lengthwise to accommodate the hand. Mary Beth, if you're taking notes here, that's good. Okay, and then watch. So with the hands raised, I am better able to keep my arms straight and I have access to my legs. Now my heels are down. If your heels are not down, don't worry about it, okay? The main thing is I want you to feel your legs. Okay, here we go. Adho Mukha Svanasana with hands on blocks. Take it from an all four. So ideally the very safest way, you could do it freestanding. I see some of you are, but I would put it at the wall. Have the blocks in the long pattern. If you're in Prasarita Padottanasana, one can do it freestanding or against the wall, but I probably would do what you're doing, Elaine, against the wall, and then repeat. A second time we do dog pose with the freestanding, you'll have the memory. Okay, these look good. If your heels are not down, don't worry. Remember, think of where is the head to the hips. Some of that go a little further back. If you had to measure from hip to head, not to hands, from hip to head, that would be the same measurement as hip to heels. Some of you, and this is always it, most of the time, good Nancy, we're too short. Suck those outer shins in. See if you can sink those heels down. We'll work on a detour to sink the heels down. Okay, now walk the feet toward the hands. Pick up a brick, Tadasana with brick. So you're going to place the block. This is too wide on the widest side. So I'm going to place it on this more narrow side. Feet can be apart or together. If your tights are slippery, it might fall out, so be careful. I want you to hug the brick from your hips, not so much from your inner thighs. Clearly the inner thighs are holding the bricks, but I want you to find those indents right here, where my index finger is, where it is. It basically is that portion of the leg where the thigh and the buttock meet. Find those indents and hug the brick from there. All right, now look at your feet and spread the feet. Spread the feet, extend through the toes, and press all four corners of the feet down. And then as you press the feet, lift the arches like they were suction cups for the tube-like structure of the legs. And then raise the arms and use the arms to lift the trunk off the pelvis, which is a healthy action for the hips. Lift your trunk off the pelvis. Don't let the thighs come forward. Imagine the brick from behind is touching a back wall. Now take the arms down, take the brick out. All right, now we're going to do some heel raises. So it might be best for you to use a wall. Just watch for a moment. So I'm about 2 feet away from the wall, and then spreading my feet, lifting my arches, lifting my kneecaps, activating my quads, and then I'm going to raise the heels up and down about 10 times. Now, when you lift the heels up, Try not to let the shins or outer ankles roll out. You're just heels up, keep spreading the feet. All right, in that manner. Could do one, if you're comfortable doing both feet, then do 1 foot. Tony, I would go a little wider in the feet. Yeah, just for your back, so you can spread your lower spine. Spread your lower spine. So you're lifting your heels up. Good. Keep going, keep going. This will help many of you strengthen your calves, soleus muscle, gastrocnemius muscle. Okay, now do this. Turn yourselves around, do the hokey pokey, be away from the wall, then bend forward, then step back if you need a brick to make the concave structure of Uttanasana, step back. Now, when the legs are against the wall, you will really feel how the arches affect the kneecaps, affect the quadriceps in this Uttanasana against the wall. All right, let's see. Again, spread the feet hip width apart, lift the arches, sense the arches again like a suction cup, and the legs like tubes, and the current of energy runs through the tubes. Lift the kneecap if you want, even put your hand on your quadricep muscles. The quadricep muscles may feel a little bulky, but in this position, they will bulk because you're strengthening your quads. Antagonistic muscle is hamstring, and you're lengthening. If your hands are on blocks, just have the hands in line with the shoulders. In line with the shoulders. Okay, again, create that access to the legs that not only dog pose is giving you, but this one even more. Okay, now walk forward of the wall and then use the same bricks in this manner, in the horizontal manner. And I want you to take the calf stretch in this way with the balls of the feet up on the bricks and the hands at the wall. If you want to do it with the chair, be my guest, okay? So let's do the calf stretch in this manner to get the heels down. Lift from the sides of the pubic bone. Ideally 1 block respectively for each foot. Good, Peggy. This will help get the heels down for our final Adho Mukha Svanasana. Again, this part, yeah, Nancy, sometimes with the sponge, it topples over. And remember that we've presented many different ways to stretch the calves. Okay, now gracefully come off. All right, now we'll take an Adho Mukha Svanasana, a freestanding one. Elaine, you can go back to that Uttanasana or repeat Prasarita Padottanasana freestanding. So this time, I want you to come into Adho Mukha Svanasana from Urdhva Hastasana, arms, bend forward, and then step back 1 leg, then the other, and take Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now, if your heels are not down, then walk in, but only walk in as much as your upper back does not round. Do you need to see that from a frontal view? Yes, no? Okay, here we go. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Imagine, yeah, see if you can get the heels down. Spread the toes, lift the arches. I'm behind you, and I'm good, Elaine. I'm pressing your heels down. Work those legs. The feet are connected to the knee. The knees are connected to the quads. The quads are connected to the abdomen. The whole lower posterior chain. That's good, Lana. Shoulder blades away. Don't let the shoulder blades roll forward. Imagine a third brick between your shoulder blades. All right. All right. Now walk your feet toward your hands. I'm going to try this. Wasn't planning to do this, but we'll do 1 more dog pose with the heels up against the wall. All right. Even though I asked you to get the heels down, watch. So one of the things is when the heels are up at the wall, you feel your abdomen lifting up and back. So watch, Mirabeth, this is not in the sequence, by the way. Okay, so I'm up in dog pose and I'm placing one heel basically where the baseboard and the wall meet. Now, because my feet are elevated, you can see that my abdomen is lifting away from the floor. So today we're working with that posterior chain of the body, feet, knees, quads, abs. And then watch, I think I will add this, then walk the heels down to where baseboard and wall meet and do exactly what you just did a moment ago, sink the heels down. Elaine, I do Uttanasana now with the legs against the wall. You'll feel the quads in the same way. All right, so this is, we'll call it dog pose, for and from the abdomen. So the heels are up on the wall, not down on the floor, but actually up on the wall, because that will create a lift in your abdomen. Imagine a big physio ball right below your navel, as though you could float up, as though you can float up. So when the heels are up at the wall, and actually this is the way we do it, pregnant women do dog pose, with the feet raised up at the wall. Again, appreciate why we're doing these iterations for and from the legs, for and from the abdomen. Okay, and now walk your feet toward your hands and inhale, up you come. So I know that you don't have this little contraption in front of you. This is one side of correct toes. So this is a correct toes, and they're basically spacers. So I'm showing this because some people do need to spread their toes. And I'm actually not going to put it, it'll take too much time to put it on. But if you have a hard time spreading your toes, like spreading your fingers, then a contraption, like, I'll call it a contraption. This is basically a plastic mold, little spacers. Those of you who get pedicures, I'm sure the technician puts in little foam things between your toes. That's what this thing is. This has helped me remarkably with my arthritis in my metatarsals, as well as cramping in my feet, oddly enough. All right, so just putting that aside, sit in the middle of the chair. So imagine you were doing this and you just decided you'll get your little correct toes. And then you're going to do a functional exercise, keeping with the theme of the quadricep muscles. So we've done this before. I'll just show this in profile. I'm sitting in the middle of the chair. I'm tracing a line. You see it on my tights from the skin from the outer knee to the outer hip. Notice how I'm not at the back of the chair. I'm pronating my palms to feel my quads. And then I'll do about 10 times. If you need to do less, fine. But I'm lifting my leg up. The toes are perpendicular, foot is perpendicular. Then I'll turn the foot out and do 10 more. All right, let's try it in that manner. First, sit in the middle of the chair. Some of you who have correct toes or those little spacers can put them in. All right, sit up tall, pronate the palms, press the thighs down, ascend the spine, trace a line. Imagine you have these racing lines. Draw back, compact the hips. All right, now you can start with the right leg. You're going to lift the leg up and down, keeping the foot absolutely perpendicular to the floor. See if you can clear the back of your thigh, the back of the thigh with the chair. Keep the leg straight. Now it doesn't have something to press into. Up and down, up and down. Try not to lean back. I know it's difficult, but you have to engage your core. Lift up and down 10 times. All right, we'll do this so if your leg is tired, go do the other side 10 times. Left side for most of you. Work that quad, work the abs, spread the feet, lift the arches. You see the theme here. That's it, Mary Beth. Good, up and down. See if you can get the back of the thigh to clear. Just to clear it, okay? It doesn't have to be brought up like that, but just to clear so that you could tuck your hand underneath. Now go back to the first side, turn the foot out in this manner. The foot is turned out and lift up and down 10 times in that manner. Turn the foot out. Again, see if you can you're using your quadricep muscles. There are 4 of them. This one in particular is the small almond-shaped one on the inside of the thigh. On the inside of the thigh, notice the vastus medialis. Up and down, up and down, up and down. All right, and then most of you are on the other side now. Up and down, good, Val, up and down. Turn the foot out, That little muscle is right here. I'll trace the line of it, right here. You'll feel it, no question about it. All right, now those of you, if you're ready, maybe you have to finish, that's fine. With the memory of your quads, we're doing wall Utkatasana. So you all know this, watch. Again, standing away from the wall. I adjust so that when I come down, my knees will be over my ankles, the thighs will be as close to parallel with the floor. Now, this is a principle we're working with. Take note, the principle here, two principles, work with movement, as I'm doing, movement, and then a short hold. So we'll do 10 times going down, and then hold with the hands on the thighs, pronated, so you feel your thighs. Now, could you take your arms overhead? Sure, but we're focusing on the quads, all right? Now, when you're ready, establish yourself so when you sit down, your knees will be over your ankles. Go down 10 times. Don't let the knees go beyond, as in really Utkatasana. Go down for 10 with movement, because the movement is lubrication. And then the hold is for muscle. Yeah, Luna, we're going to do that one. You want to use your wall? Yeah. Back up the feet. Watch the feet. Look at the feet. Don't let them turn out. Spread. Let the feet open. Hold for 10 seconds. Hold it. Good, Val. Hold it. Don't let the knees become Baddha Konasana. If you want to challenge yourself, fine. You can take the arms out to the side or overhead. Good, Nancy. If your arms are overhead, take one hand down, put it on your abdomen and draw it back. Don't let the knees roll out. That's tendency. If you want to put a block, put the block on, specifically if you have a foam block. Okay, now slowly come out. All right, now to get a little bit more, to feel a little bit more of abdominal action, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take kind of like a supine iteration of this. And also for people who have, are just unable to do what we just did. So watch, in the same geometry, shins parallel to the ceiling, knees over hips. I'm going to, feet are hip width apart. I'm going to press my feet into the wall. As soon as I press my feet strongly into the wall, my arches lift, my kneecaps engage, my quads engage, and my abdomen engages. My abdomen has just moved back to get that clarity in the abdomen, to feel it. I'll put my hand on my navel, and I feel as I'm still pressing my feet like crazy into the wall, so I have access to my abdomen. All right, so see how there's a connection between feet and arches, knees, quadriceps, core. Press the feet like you're pushing the wall away. Push the wall away. Now open up those toes. Open them up. Imagine the correct toes. Gail, go a little bit wider in the feet. Imagine you have the correct toes in yours, or pedicure spacers. Press the feet. Work your abdomen. It's really interesting. I was at a pelvic floor consultation yesterday, I'll confess. And, they take you through a variety of things they want to look at. And the one thing that I did not fail at was abdominal strength. And it's a very important piece of pelvic health. Okay. I know some of you that know that, I've always used a lot of yoga asana, abdominal asana in my classes, and thankful for it now. Okay. Keep pressing the feet. Remember this iteration. If and when we go further and something's not possible, you have it in your toolbox to pick from. Okay, now come out. Now we're going to do what I consider the quintessential pose that kind of puts all the pieces together. Utkatasana, fierce or zigzag pose. So watch. I'm going to show in profile. I'm standing with the feet hip width apart. Here's the racing stripes. We take the arms up, and then, like the principles that we followed at the wall, I'm going to go down, work with movement as lubrication for the hips. If you have a shoulder issue, you can keep the hands on the hips. So first we're going to do 10 times like we did at the wall. And then we're going to do a short hold to build bone density for 10 seconds. Now, what I want to say, but we'll do it a few times because there's a lot to address in Utkatasana. All right, so show me in profile number 1. All right, now the first time that you go down, you may not be able to get the thighs parallel to the floor. But one of the things I want you to appreciate is, where is the trunk? The trunk is absolutely not perpendicular to the floor, nor is it parallel. Let's say it's at a roughly, it's basically 20 degrees off the 90-degree mark. All right, 70 degrees, let's say. All right, so if it's helpful for you to put your hands on your hips, do so. Stand with the feet hip width apart. Okay, now lift the toes up, because that helps you to move the shins back to get the heels down like we did in dog pose. Now 10 times like we did at wall Utkatasana, go down. Don't let the knees roll in. Adjust the feet, because many of you are letting your inner heels move toward each other. Run the outer edges of the feet parallel. Go down. Work with movement. Movement is lubrication. For those of you who attended Karen Stefan's workshop, she talked about lubrication for the hips. And then when you're ready on the 10th time, stay down. 10, 9, you can still lift the toes. 8, 7, 6, 5. Good, Lana. 4, good. 3, that's good. 2, and 1. Okay, so this is a very challenging pose. And I will say, the common denominator, which is usually seen, is that chest is too pitched forward too much. So what I observed in this one, again, for many of you, the trunk looks more like this. That's too close to the floor, too angular. I want it to be, again, it's not upright. It's not 90 degrees. I don't, maybe you could come on, we could talk about the end. To me, it's not 45. I can't even say 45. It's more like 60 or 70, okay? Val, you got it right there. So I'd say it's upright. It's not 90 degrees. Can we do it again? Go with movement again, because, and I do think lifting, remember the heels have to be down. Alana, that's fine to work in that way with the heels supported. All right, that's it, Peggy. Now, here's the thing. Taking the arms up is harder, but what it helps you to do is when the arms are up, it actually helps you go down. Go down to go up to go down. Now look at yourself in the screen. Good, Gail. The trunk is more upright. I don't want it to run parallel. Luna, see if you can get a little more tailbone action and lift the yes. All right. Now, one more thing. All right, we addressed the trunk. When you're in the pose, you should have that same action of what you did when you did the supine iteration. So if you were to, I'm going down, put your hand on your abdomen. The abdomen, so Luna, watch, it's not like this. Can you see the difference between this and this? So it's good to take one hand, put it on your abdomen. It's the same thing that you felt in the supine iteration. The abdomen draws back. 2 weeks ago, I likened it to like a sandwich, the filling in a sandwich. So can we do another Utkatasana for and from the abdomen? Have the feet hip width apart, arms up or not, I don't really care. And then go down. Heels are down or supported by something. All right, now release one hand if it's overhead or on your hips. Put it in your abdomen and get that same abdominal sandwich that I asked you to get in the supine iteration. Okay, and out you come. Well done. All right, now from here, so I'm going to put on my sneakers because the next few Utkatasans we're going to do, and we've done it before, I would suggest wearing a sneaker for the jumping in Utkatasana if you have bunions, if you have arthritis in your big toes, if you have arthritis in your metatarsals as I do. All right, so I'm just take a pause here. Everyone, many of you have sneakers in your room. It's not a bad thing to wear.
Ronnie, my lower back hurts a little bit from something I did at the gym, so I'm going to
Do
stick-
heel raises.
Yeah, I can do what we were doing right now. I can just keep doing it.
Because what I was going to say, for people who, when it comes to the jumping, then I would offer this solution, either go back to a wall Utkatasana, a supine iteration, or Alana, simply the heel raises. Okay? All right, because I'm sure that, a lot of people have had some chronic back issues. All right, so now this is what we're going to do. You have your sneakers on, I'm giving you time. So watch, I find this way to do it. I swing my arms back and I gain some height. I want to free myself from the earth, okay? Can we do like 5? All right, here we go. Lana, that's good. Or you can do heel raises, or this, I'm gonna give you one. I wanted to have people on Sunday, because I'm sure many people will be in a similar situation. That's it. It doesn't have to be a huge amount of height. Tony, the heel raises for you as well, or the supine iteration. Good. It's not so easy to get that in. It really isn't. So, and most of you know this, but we want to do something with impact, because impact, even more than holdings, has the most dramatic effect on brain health. Okay, so now we're going to rest our legs a little bit, and I want to show this. Okay, so I don't know how many of you know this. So I'm going to show you without the props and then with. So I've taught for many years this sequence for the feet. So watch for a moment. So I'm sitting in Virasana. I'll use a block. I'm just going to show this. I'm using a block. Virasana. I'm on the tops of my feet. I'm sitting on the block on the low side. My feet point straight backward. Then I tuck the toes under. I'll switch the block to the medium side. The knees are down. And then I bring the chest a little forward and I come up into Sankatasana, where the thighs are parallel. And then I'm going to come back, join the feet, and sit in Vajrasana. Now that's challenging, especially if you have foot or knee issues. So watch. I'm taking 2 bolsters. Those of you who don't have 2 bolsters, don't worry. You can make a bolster out of 2 blankets in this manner. Okay? So it would look like, just to show, because I know some of you don't have 2 bolsters, you're here. All right, now watch. You have 2 bolsters or 1 bolster and 2 blankets. So now I'm going to come back to Virasana. So you see how my feet are hanging, it's like a slope. They're hanging off the hip. Really nice, especially if you have bunions. And Tony, anyone who has foot issues, arthritis as well. And then watch. Then I go back to do Sankatasana. I'm on the balls of my feet, but this time, this is really good for the knees. The thighs are supported. Then I'm coming all the way back and sitting in Vajrasana on the heels, okay? So I'm teaching this iteration because it's not often taught in this way. All right, so you're sitting in Virasana with the feet hanging off the brick. If you're doing the other iteration, the one that I previously showed, that's fine. So now the feet are hanging off the cliff. It's very comfortable. Good, Val, that's it. Let me just see, some of you have 2 bolsters. So if you have 2 bolsters, use them for the knees. The knees are on that second bolster or blanket I have it now. So just take a look in the mirror and you'll stand on the screen and you'll see how my knees are supported. Okay, then you tuck the toes under, toe squash. This helps your arches and spreads your feet. And now you can pronate the palms on the roots of the thighs. On the roots of the thighs. Okay, and now come into the more commonplace foot position, Vajrasana, where you're on the tops of the heels and buttocks together. You can even belt the ankles so they stay together. That's good, Lana. All right, now everyone give a good stretch to their legs. Dandasana, Dandasana. All right, now get a chair. We're going back to the impact. As I said, the impact is really good for bone health. Have blocks nearby. All right, so we're going to begin with this first iteration. This should be fine for people who have shoulder or wrist issues. So watch. And we've done this, I think, once before, 3 weeks ago, maybe. I'm holding, making, basically a fist and holding the seat of the chair. So I'm going to basically do kind of like a quasi dog pose, and then I jump back, and then I jump back again. And then I jump back. You could do 3 jumps or 2 jumps, okay? So it's small jumps. Lana, if this bothers you, then obviously, Tony, then just step back, step forward, okay? If it bothers anyone's backs, shouldn't bother the shoulders. That's it. So you're jumping forward and then back. That's it, Nancy. Forward and back, or stepping forward. Stepping forward, good. All right, so that looked fairly easy for most of you. All right, come up, and now we'll take it the next step. So we're going to reduce the height, take away the chair, get your 2 blocks again, put them on the medium side, not the low side, hook your thumbs, and you're going to jump back, jump back, jump back, jump back. If you're having an issue with your back and you already did the stepping back, look, you could also do this. Step on up on a chair, step up on a chair, and alternate each leg. All right, so you're doing a few times like that, maybe 4. Tony, that's good, that's it. Jump forward, jump back in little pauses. Good. All right, now go to the lowest side. If you can, the lowest side, and do again, jump, 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 jump. That's it. And backward, and backward. Good. All right, now, Mary Beth, I'm going to spotlight you. You can do this, Mary Beth, with blocks or without, but I want you to not have the pauses. So you're going to take, I'm going to spotlight you in a second. You'll take 1 huge jump back, 1 huge jump forward. Those of you who are not doing that, then simply step back, 1 leg, step up with the other leg, or you could do even this. Lift the leg up, and alternate side by side. Okay, Mary Beth, I'm going to spotlight you now. Hold on. All right, let's see. Again, this is really good for bone health, because it has to do with impact. All right, so now jump back all the way. Imagine a belt, yes. And then jump forward. For many people, jumping forward is easier. Okay, and now repeat, jump. Bend the knees deeply and jump all the way back. Good. And then all the way forward. Good. Now, the other possibility is doing it with a chair. You can see the blocks are low down. Mary Beth, take the chair and let's see if this works. So for some people, we're eliminating the pauses of jump, 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 or jump, jump, and now go all the way back in one fell swoop. Yeah, makes it easier. And then bend the knees, go all the way forward. So that's a possibility. The other possibility, if you're not doing this, is just simply put 1, as I showed Mary Beth, put 1 foot on the chair, raise 1 leg, good. Take it down, yes. Raise the other leg, take it down, or do heel raises. Yeah, so come back and lift the heels up. Heel raise is good. Yeah, you can switch the chair rest if you need to. That's it. Lift it up and down, up and down, up and down. Good. All right, everyone, here we go. So there's a lot of alternatives to choose from. Thanks, Mary Beth. I'm going to unspotlight you. All right, so now, Tony, be careful. Lana, be careful. All right, so you're taking any of those possibilities if you need to, or you're jumping with chair. That's it. So many of you are able to do it with the blocks, I see, or without the blocks. So this is for impact. This is for bone health, Okay. All right. And now finish up, take a well-deserved rest in Uttanasana for a moment. All right, let's do this. I'm not going to take off my sneakers again, but let me just show you with my hands. So there's an exercise which strengthens the toes. And I told you about this book called Human Locomotion by Tommy Schode. So he says that strengthening your toes, they need to be in the extended position, not the flexion position. So that the exercise that's commonly given to strengthen your toes was kind of picking up marbles. Okay, so let me show you with my hands. We are going to do this with your feet, and I'll show that in a second. But you have to spread your toes, and then you have to extend the toes, like your toes were growing from 2 inches to 6 inches, and then you have to press down. So it's spreading, extending, and pressing down. All right, so I will take off my sneakers. So this is the point I want to make about this. So we're going to do this exercise in mountain pose, Tadasana. All right, I don't know if you can see my feet, but hopefully you can. So I'll show it in the profile. So I'm first going to spread my toes. Imagine I have the correct toes in. Then I'm reaching forward. Now, as I reach the toes forward, the weight is naturally going to shift forward. And the no-no that we always say in Tadasana, don't let the thighs come forward, doesn't apply now. Yes, the thighs will come forward. When the thighs come forward, don't let the toes curl back. Keep the toes in the extended position and press down. So it's spread, reach, press. So much so that if I could jump off my mat, I've left an impression of the balls of my feet and my toes. That's all you need to know. All right, there's a device that Tommy Schode has devised. It looks like this. It's called the Toe Pro. It's a bit of a softer, spongy surface that you put the balls of your feet, not the balls, the toes on. But since none of you have it, we can duplicate this exercise without, okay? Everyone can do. Just know that your thighs will come forward. They have to because the weight shifts forward. The other thing is if the heels lift up, so be it. Okay, the heels might lift up 1/8 of an inch. So stand with the feet hip width apart. So your job is to spread the feet. When you spread the feet, see again that connectivity between lifting the arches, lifting the kneecaps, lifting the quads, and then reach forward with the toes. The thighs will come forward. They have to. They have to. If you feel like you're going to lose your balance, look, take the backrest of the chair and put it like this. So you're doing it this way, right? I think it works better than a wall. All right, just with the heels might come up a little bit, and then hold it for 5. Hold it for 5 counts. All right, let's start again. Everyone spread the feet. Lift the arches. Have the backrest facing you. Now, extend the toes toward the backrest. So the weight comes into the thighs. The weight comes into the toes. The thighs will come forward in that action. Now hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then release. All right, so the chair is there because you might topple forward. So have the backrest here. And then again, let's do it 5 times with 5 holds. All right, spread the feet. Lift the arches. Now reach the toes forward. Let the thighs come forward. If the heels go up a little bit, so be it. Now imagine you're pressing your feet, make an impression of your feet in the mat. And then just try this just to humor yourself. Jump off, see if you've made an impression in the mat. Just try it. Hopefully you're pressing down hard enough that your feet have just made an impression. Okay, 3 more in that manner. 3 more in that manner. So Tommy Schode claims that this is the very, very best way to strengthen the toes. In the extension position, not in the flexion position, which is counterintuitive because for years, when you look online to strengthen your toes, it's always in the flexion position, the curled toes. Keep going. You have another 2 to do. Remember, it's, you want to do repetitions with holds. So you're repeating, spreading the toes, getting the weight into the toes, and then pressing down as though you were making an impression of your feet in the mat. Good. Mary Beth, that's good. If the heels come up a little bit, so be it. Okay, now take another rest in your chair. And this comes from Dr. Frank Lipman's work on the new rules of aging. So I'll just show this in profile. Many of you have done this. I'm sure you've heard about it. It's been written up a gazillion times in the New York Times. Thank you, Gail. So I'm sitting in the middle of the chair. I'm tracing a line, the skin from the outer knee to the outer hip. And then without hands, no hands, I press the feet. Now, again, everything's connected to the part below. Press the feet. You've just worked the feet. You've just worked the feet. Press the feet and go up. 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 If you're not doing this, simply go back to what we did with the leg up and do your leg lifts and go up. Your abdomen has to work. Sit in the middle of the chair, not at the edge of the chair. Okay, that seemed palatable for everyone. Remove the chair, and just like the same principles that we saw when Mary Beth went lower and lower with the chair to blocks, take your two bolsters or your bolster and blanket configuration and sit on that. So we've gone lower, look. Bolster setup is lower than the chair. All right, have the feet hip width apart. So you're sitting on the bolster setup. All right, now the knees are higher than the groins. That's fine. Now your job is to, again, you have to spread the feet, kneecaps lift, thighs activate, and go up. Just imagine you're in the movie theater and you got to get up and you don't have access to your hands, and go up. Keep going, keep going, keep going. This comes from Frank Lipman's The New Rules of Aging. Okay, guess what happens next? Remove one bolster. Now, some of you might think, well, you know, there's a little bit more to this than Ronnie thinks. It's true. We are strengthening the legs. Now, I'm lower down. That will mean that the hip flexors have to be somewhat stretched. That is partially true. I think everyone can do this. Watch. So the feet is this, we've just lowered the height. Again, without hands, although if you need the hands, you can certainly hold the sides of the bolster and go up. And go up. And go up. Come on. And go up. Lubna, that's it. Go up. You're young. Go up. So the feet are connected to the knees are connected to the hips are connected to your core. Yes, if you want to use your arms for momentum, that's fine. Some of you I saw intuitively were doing this. Look, that's fine. No problem with that. Use your arms. Watch the feet. Keep the feet running parallel. All right, now, of course, the hardest one is this, and this is the reason why this is so hard. We've done this before. So if you were to take no height, I don't know if I'm going to teach this, and you were sitting in cross-legged, very few people might be able to do this with the feet on the floor. If you were sitting in cross-legged, where the baby toe side of the foot, or the soles of the foot are pressing against the wall, I have to get my feet pressing down first. So you see what I'm doing? And I go up. It's actually very easy if you just look at it from your feet. So change the cross. Let's see how these go. Sit in Swastikasana. All right, now your job is to get both soles of the feet. Remember how the only way you got up from the one bolster iteration is you had access to your feet, which you don't have now. So how do you get access to the feet? Bend the knees, so let the knees lift. Secure all four corners of the feet, and now without hands, get up. Come on, Luna. That's it. Again, try it one more time. Just have fun with it. Change the cross when you're ready. A few more. Yeah, Val, yeah. If you need to use your hands, do so. But I think many of you can do this. Okay, Luna, now you have it. Good. All right. Now we're going into our third chapter, standing poses. So before we do the warriors, which you probably have guessed we're coming up. We're going to do the all important Parsva Kunchanasana. So you'll take a chair in this mat. It doesn't have to touch the wall. You all know this one. So this will prepare us for the warriors. Now, one of the things I want to say about this pose is, do you see when I don't have a block underneath my foot, my knee is on the same plane as my groin? Ideally, you, for safety reason, have a mat piece on the chair. The knee is slightly higher than the groin. So it's at this downward trajectory so that the buttock flesh can move down and the side ribs lift up as I take the arms out to the side. Okay, so let's see if you have see if you can create just the right geometry for this pose where the knee is slightly higher than the right groin, but watch to see that the left ilium bone is in line with the left ankle. Now, extend strongly from the right side of your pubic plate to your inner knee. That's really key. Don't let the knee collide. Even put your hand on the inside of the knee and press it back. Don't let it come forward. Don't let it come forward. Now put your same right hand on the right buttock flesh. This will feel good on your back, Lana, and move it down. What I just showed when I had my back to you. Move it down. These look good. Now stretch out your arms. Good. Reach. Get this right knee further and further from your left knee. Resist leaning. Resist leaning into that left side. Abduct. Find that indent at the buttock thigh juncture. And then take the arms overhead. Parsva Kunchanasana. And then arms down. Mindfully take the leg down and change sides. Parsva Kunchanasana to the left. Not everyone needs the block. Take the block so that the trajectory of your left leg, knee is slightly higher. It's a downward slope. Keep the right thigh, right ilium bone in line with right ankle. Now, get that left knee further away from you, further away from the left groin, but pull up both sides of the pubic bone. Abduct the corner of that right indent. Take the arms out to the side, palms up, and lift up. Parsva, keep moving the buttock flesh down. If you let the left buttock flesh hike up, it's unhealthy for the low back. And now come down mindfully. All right, now a front facing one, I think we'll do without block. So watch, I'm facing the chair now. I'm gonna put my right foot in the middle of the chair, and then I'm gonna bend forward slightly. And then remember those little pauses, we jump back. So we're using that little bit of jumping, a little bit of jumping. So now I'm getting the elongation on the left groin, arms out, arms up. Looks like warrior one, right? All right, let's do that. Lana, that's good. Because the rest of the sequence, we're doing warrior two, which could be fine with back heel at the wall. Warrior one, you could do with back heel up at the wall and Utkatasana in between. And then maybe modified warrior three with your abdomen on the bed or something. Okay, that's good. Now make the trunk upright. Good, Peggy. Back leg is straight. So now the chest is not forward. Good. These look good. All right, now very mindfully come in, step in, hold the chair, bend forward. That's it, Mary Beth. And then out your count, left leg. So take it. So here, I want to show this again. Again, the entry and the exit. I have the foot on. I lean forward, watch. I step back a little bit. Remember that jumping back. And then I get the chunk to an upright position. Remember to trace that line. This is memorable, seeing these racing stripes and reach up. Warrior one to the left. Lonnie, you can also do Supta 2, Supta 1. Supta 2 with buttock support. Supta 1 is really good for the back, especially if you have a column. You could just switch up to a back sequence. Gail, watch the knee, let it be over the ankle. I think maybe for the rest of the sequence you can do. Also, Uttita Marichyasan is good for the back. Okay, and out you come. All right, now let's do this. Do a few like these, watch. Like Parsva Kunchanasana, side outs. Of course, it's harder to not list. You don't have the chair, side outs. And then we'll do lift one leg up and kind of march in place. All right, so you feel the integration of all the body parts. So side out to the right, side out to the left, and then leg up to the right, leg up to the left. See if you can get the knee, aim it to the chest. So I'll show in profile watch. I'm not going toward my leg, I'm lifting my leg up. The thigh of the standing leg may come forward. So you're already balancing on one leg if you haven't observed already. Yeah, Lana, that's good. Now I would do two first. Let's try two, supta two, and then go to supta one. Decentralize the other leg. Okay. All right, now we're doing warrior two, stand in samastiti. We'll go through these rather quickly. If you need a back wall for your left foot, please take it. Jump or step the feet wide apart. All right, now again, go back to the principles that we did in Utkatasana, wall Utkatasana, and then freestanding. So watch, I'm going to use movement for lubrication. And then after I've done maybe 6, a short hold of about 10 seconds. Now remind yourself that as you come down, resist the top of the shin back. Otherwise the knee will go beyond the ankle. Okay, so 6 times to the right with movement. Go wide, otherwise the knee will go beyond the ankle. And then after 6, like we did in Utkatasana, hold a short hold for building muscle mass. Impact is more bone health. Short hold, and then up you come. Okay, well done. Change sides, Virabhadrasana 2 to the left, go back to Tadasana. Jump or step the feet. Those of you, employ the jumping because we've done it, use it now. All right, left leg turns out. Go Gail a little wider. Go down. Go down. Watch the knee. Remember Parshva Kunchanasana, inner knee to outer knee. Find those racing lines in your left leg. Trace the skin back from the knee to the hip, and then a short hold, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And up you come. All right, back to Tadasana. Actually, let's do this. It's so interesting. I wonder if your Utkatasana will improve having done Virabhadrasana 2. And then ask yourself an interesting question. Why would Utkatasana improve having done Warrior 2? Okay, take Utkatasana, arms up or not. Why would Utkatasana improve after Virabhadrasana 2? Or for that matter, after Virabhadrasana 1. Now inhale, up you come. And now Virabhadrasana 1, which is like what we did front-facing Parshva Kunchanasana and chair. Okay, if you're getting tired, just write in the chat box. Jump the feet wide apart. All right, now use the arms as I'm doing to turn and bring the trunk to face the right leg. Keeping the back heel down. Remember what we were just in the chair. So you have all that memory. Raise the arms up. Remember what I said. Lift the trunk off the pelvis, a healthy action for the hips, and now descend. Go down a few times. Work with the principles. Remember of movement for lubrication, a short hold from muscle mass. Go down. Utthita Marityasana 1, Lana, yeah. Hold it, hold it. If you can't hold for 10, hold for 5. If you're finding that the arms are coming forward, take the arms in line with the shoulders. Now inhale, up you come, and change sides to the left. Virabhadrasana 1 to the left when you're ready. Turn the left leg out, back leg straight. And then again, principle, go down, go down, go down a few times. Tony, I think you can turn the back foot in a little bit more. Go down, use the arms to go up, but go down. Now stay and hold it for around 5 to 10 seconds. Hold it, hold it. Good. And up you come. All right, now one final Utkatasana, and see if Utkatasana has gotten any better, having done Virabhadrasana 2. All right, so now showing profile, feet apart, arms can be up or not. Sink the heels down, shins back, bend at the hips, keep the trunk upright. That's it. Remember the abdominal action, abdomen moving back. Good, Peggy, good. These look good. And now inhale, up you come. All right, now we're going to do Virabhadrasana 3, but in a modified way. Where's Lana? No, she's not here. All right, so you'll take your blocks on the high side. So watch. And take the arms up. And I'll show you lifting this right leg up. You'll stand on your right leg and raise the left leg up. So I'm lifting the leg so that my body is parallel to the floor. That's the metrics of the pose. All right. So watch again, standing on the right leg. You're going to raise your left leg up. Make the abdomen the source of lifting the leg up, and then take a glance at yourself and see that your body is truly parallel to the floor. All right, hands are directly underneath the blocks, on the blocks, directly underneath your shoulders. But it's too big because Virabhadrasana, if you had a high stool to rest your abdomen, that's the very best. Yeah, I mean, otherwise, which is a therapeutic aspect of Warrior 3. Lift your, let's see, everyone, it doesn't matter which leg you're standing on. Standing on the right, lifting the left, or vice versa. Good, these look good. Keep the aerial leg straight, descend the leg. Now pressing the right foot, feel how strong that leg, that standing leg has to be. Take a glance at yourself and see that your body, good Nancy, is parallel. Now do what we did, put your hand on your abdomen in Uttanasana. Legs are both on the floor. Put your hand on your abdomen, draw the abdomen back. Remember that sandwich that you felt with Utkatasana. Okay, now from here, simply lift one leg from the abdomen. Like the abdomen was the source of jumping. Let the abdomen be a source of lifting. Lana, that's really good. And change sides. That I find most helpful. Or the one that you were doing sitting in the chair with the bolster. There's something about the waist drawing back that's really relaxing to the back, which is similar when you use the floor when you did this, you know, the Kunchanasana action. Okay, now everybody lie flat on the back. So I think that's really good, Lana. All right, now watch. We're going to do a supine Garudasana. So I'm crossing my right leg over my left. You don't have to hook, right? So I want you to feel a sense of outer compactness, but inner freedom in the groins. Let me show this way. So I'm letting my right leg go over the left. I'm putting my hands on my inner thighs. The inner thigh shouldn't crisscross. The right thigh shouldn't crisscross to the left. So I kind of put my hands to part the groins. Compact the hips, inner freedom. Okay, then we'll do 10 sit-ups in supine Garudasana, change the cross, 10 more, okay? All right, supine Garudasana, have the shins parallel to the ceiling. You can flex the feet, Lana could just stay there, all right, that's it. Now, make sure should feel that compactness in your hips, but the groins are resisting away from each other, and I've talked about this a lot in Supta 3, etc. All right, now interlace the hands behind the head, and now lift the shoulder blades off the floor, but move your abdomen back. Remember Utkatasana. Now your shins could be a little lower to the ceiling, yeah, parallel, that's it. And go, if you need support, if the legs couldn't remain support, you can put it on the chair. Okay, do 10, lift the shoulder blades off the floor. Shoulder blades off, it's a basic sit-up. Peggy, see if you can lift right here. Grab yourself right here at the shoulder blades. Remember the part of you that was on the blanket and lift up. And then change the cross, 10 more sit-ups. 10 more basic sit-ups. Look, you could also do this, guys. Hold your shoulder blades and lift up. Make sure those shoulder blades, the bottom of the shoulder blade clears the floor. In order not to have neck tension, let the elbows part a little bit. You don't have to do this. The elbows don't have to come toward each other, but let the, like, kind of be a U shape, a U shape. Okay. All right. Now come up, watch. So I'm just got real, this is not going through all of it. So just watch. So I'm going to stand on my right leg and I'm doing basically Garudasana. And watch, see, I'm moving my hands, I'm resisting the inner thighs. I'm not hooking, because here's the thing, when everyone hooks, they crisscross their groins. It's almost inevitable. So I don't want you to crisscross your groins. I want there to be outer compactness, inner space. All right. In addition, I want you to feel the abdomen, and I love to use my hand to propriocept the abdomen moving back. So you can see in this sequence, everything, they're all friends of each other. They belong together. In order to have access to balance, you have to use the feet, the arches, the knees, the quads, and the abdomen. All right, upright, bend your right leg. See, I'm bending a little bit. I entwine, but I maintain the inner groin freedom. And just pause, abdomen moving back. Your frontal hip bone should be facing straight on. Don't let the left leg that's crossing over the right bring that left ilium bone around. All right, change sides, bend the left leg a little bit. Take the right, entwine, but in the entwinement, don't let the groins crisscross. So I'm using my hands. Then place a hand there, abdomen moving back, which we've done all morning. And then release. All right, now watch. I'm going to use Garudasana as a platform for Warrior 3, but also because it's helpful not to do the poses in the same way. It's good for cognitive brain health to do things with newness and novelty. So you can pick a leg, any leg. We're going to take Garudasana, pause. You can put your hand on your abdomen and then have courage, faith that you can extend the arms backward and take Warrior 3. I needed to have my sneakers on. All right, so let's try it. Take a few rounds because as you saw, I had faltered. All right, so from Garudasana, you can stand on any leg. Put your hand on your abdomen. Don't extend the arms forward, it'll make it much harder. So you can take the arms out to the side or backward. Backward is the easiest. All right, reach the arms backward, extend the trunk forward. That's it, Val. Now make the body parallel. Remember, modify. If the hands come down to the floor, let them be on blocks. Mary Beth, go a little higher in the aerial leg. I know it's challenging, and lower in the trunk. Okay, change sides. We'll do this at least once on each side. All right, so just pause for a moment, close your eyes, see yourself in the pose. Now, what I want you to do is do this from the abdomen. All right, so entwine the left around the right or the right around the left. Put your hand on your abdomen, create all that we've done this morning, abdomen moving back. Now from the abdomen, reach back with one leg, extend the trunk forward, reach back with the arms or out to the side and come into Warrior 3. If all else should fail, the hands can come down on blocks. Good. All right. And then down you come. Well done. All right. Now lie flat in Supta Baddha Konasana for your back. None of that's good. Or you can do flat Baddha Konasana as well with thigh support. So just give yourself a chance to settle back after the rigor of the class, but also for your low back, let the lower back spread, let the abdomen pacify. You can put your hand on the navel band just to encourage that relaxing of the abdomen. You know, I thought a great deal about this sequence, and it's interesting because I do think that most yoga classes, they have a priority, if you will, on flexibility. And what I would say is you have to really pair that with strength. Mindful that flexibility is just one aspect of that physicality. Abdominal strength, lower body strength is really important as we get older, really important. Now, I did say you don't need a belt, but now I'm going to take it back. Do Supta Padangusthasana 2. Decentralize your left leg and take your right leg out to the side. This is more for the organic body. If you don't have a belt, then just stay in Supta Baddha Konasana. So Line, it looks like, everything that probably feels good is the abdomen drawing back so that the sides of the waist descend. Be it sitting in the chair. Warrior 3 gets that as you did already. So those kinds of, that kind of back therapeutic, Dvipada, Vakunchanasana, any knees into chest also really helpful on the low back. Supta 1, just like at 90. Supta 2 may not be as good, but the thigh would have to be supported. And then the other thing, Lana, is just lying prone with the heels out and the toes turned in is beautiful, and the abdomen slightly supported, and the ankles on a roll. Good, marry that. Okay, so we will do the other side of Supta 2. Decentralize the right leg now for the organic body. So we're doing this not to stretch your inner thighs, but rather much more for the organic space that it creates. And then if your knees don't bother you, do a child's pose with the whole trunk supported in this manner. If you have another bolster, which most of you use today, you can do it in this way. Or a roll in your abdomen also would work nicely. This way. Horizontally, the way we did at the very beginning of the class, had that roll. Show it this way. This way. Imagine someone, myself, pulling the corners of the blanket backward, traction on the low back. Yeah, get the blanket right in the space at the hip crease. And imagine, good, that's it. Now imagine I'm standing behind you, pulling it back. And just rest there. Or you can use it as you're doing there, that just as anterior support. Okay, and then when you're ready, you can do a prone shavasana, or what you're doing, Tony, is lower legs on the seat of the chair shavasana. Prone one is applicable today, or the one that we've been doing. If you have the bolster, you can use it for a lower back direction as well. Yeah, Nancy, that's good. And then toe in, heel out to release your lower back. So we're either in prone shavasana or use the chair, lower legs on the seat of the chair. Those of you in prone shavasana, let the elbows go out to the side. You can cup your forehead with your the backs of your hands so that you don't have to turn the head to one side and then change. So just creating a little elevation of the forehead so you can breathe easily. Just relax there. Yeah, sometimes the foot cramps, Nancy, and tucking the toes under will help. I will say with foot cramps, oddly enough, as I said to some of you, the correct toes have been very helpful in ameliorating the toe cramps, the foot cramps. Although it's difficult to feel a lot of space if you're prone, see if once again you can create that inner space inside. And if you're lying flat on the back, keep the eyes connected to the heart center. So there's that downward trajectory of the sense eye organ looking downward and inward. Use this time well to restore, renew, relax your mind, body, having worked very hard in the asana practice today. Doing a slightly longer shavasana, somewhat intentionally because of the rigor of the class. Many of you know, as in meditation, it often takes time to relax deeply. It's not done in the first 4 or 5 minutes. It takes time. Find that window of relaxation. If you'd like to make the transition to an upright, awake state, then go through the meditative posture, just sitting, going back to that comfortable but dignified upright position, that majestic mountain that we spoke of earlier this morning. Allow yourself to feel majestic, uplifted, psychologically, emotionally. So I will unmute everyone and stop the recording.